Go ahead. Meeting's called to order.
All right, go ahead. Let me give a roll call. You want to make the roll call? All right. You want to come over here? Just a minute. Gordon's going to read out the names.
Ricardo Garza, Joaquín Rodriguez, Mr. Jacobs, Gary,
Yes, present.
Mr. Averill,
Present. I'm here.
Mr. Mancha, Roberto,
Present.
Mr. Slide, Colonel Slide,
He's here.
Colonel. I'm sorry, I'm here, present.
okay, all right. Mr. Luis Pellegrin,
Here.
Jose Antonio Martinez. We have a quorum, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chair.
Okay. Joe, JJ, you want to proceed?
Yes, sir.
Well, approve the minutes from the last meeting.
Go ahead.
So move.
I'll second.
All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
Aye.
Mr. Averill, second.
Okay, the motion is passed, and I'll turn the meeting over to JJ.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We have nobody signed up for public comments. Item with possible action. If it's okay, Mr. Chair, with your all, I would like to move up. Well, if we can, Danny Vio, can you wait, Dan McGee, or are you okay for staying for the meeting? Or we're going to discuss something?
I'll be here as long as you want me, JJ.
There you go. He's a good golfer. That's why. He's a true trooper. Okay, so let me go ahead and share my screen, members of the committee. Mr. Dennis and myself and Mr. McGee have been talking about the possibility of hopefully maybe putting some lighting up for 3 holes in the back in the 10, 11, and 12. And I'll show my screen here in just a minute. And I'll let Dennis can kind of chime in here a little bit so we can explain the benefits of having this, how it would help the course. Want to bring it up to the committee, see what the committee thoughts would be, and then we'll go from there. Okay. Let me share the screen, and then Dennis, can you kind of talk a little bit? And then I'll also chime in there as well. Okay.
Yes, definitely. No worries.
Hold on. Okay. Can y'all see that, gentlemen?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I'll start it off and then Dennis kind of, so as you can see here, we're looking at hole 10, 11, 12, and then the range, the driving range. So the yellow dots that you see there are, and Dan McGee can handle chime in because he's more familiar with the lighting and different, he's got a contract with the lighting company where there can be some possible lighting that we can put there for night golf, for extending the play, for different tournaments. We can later on, of course, the driving range can be lit to have lighting to have the night, especially when it gets hot during the summers, so that we can have that. So just different things that were ideas that Dennis has brought up, and we want to bring it up to the committee, and I'll let him share some more on this. Go ahead, Dennis.
All right, guys. Yeah, well, I don't know if somebody saw it. They were in Abu Dhabi. They were playing in the desert. Obviously, money is no object in Abu Dhabi. So, it was just a novel idea. And then, lo and behold, I go to San Antonio, and they have a 9-hole par 3 lit up course on San Pedro, right in downtown San Antonio. And I got there around 8:30 at night, and the tee boxes were full. The range was full. The restaurant inside was full. And there's a full-on pandemic going on. So I can just imagine when there isn't. But, definitely, opened our eyes to the possibility. We're always asking each other or corporates asking us, how can we get more rounds? How can we get more golfers? Growing the game, obviously, is always a way to get more golfers, but it's a slow process. Maybe by adding some lights at first to holes 10, 11, and 12 in the range, we would be able to get those golfers that say, oh, it's too far and I'm just getting out of work. There's no way I can even get some holes in. I'd love to go play, but I go do range, but then, I don't have nothing to do afterwards. Well, in this case, we'd be able to facilitate those golfers that are, getting here at 6. They could play the front nine in the summer, especially, and then continue playing at least 3 holes that are lit and range balls and work on their game. I think initially that holes 10, 11, 12 were for a clinic. I wasn't around at that time, but I remember hearing that it would be a clinic so people could play 10, 11, and 12 and then go back to the range and work on their game and then take a lesson. And then if they needed to do it again, they could do 10, 11, and 12. That's why it's a par 5, par 4, and a par 3. These were just ideas. And, I spoke with Dan and Coach. So we're just bringing it up and see if anybody thinks it's worth it. Obviously, right now, what you're looking at is just some sample lighting. The yellow dots would signify where there would be a light post. Obviously, there hasn't been a study yet. This was just to kind of get the ball rolling on where we think where we could do it. So
Dennis, this is Gary. Let me just say, conceptually, I like the idea of lighting 3 holes. However, I would not agree to those holes because ultimately we're going to develop housing on the frontage along 11 and 7, and there might be some other there will be housing on the other side. So if you're going to do this, I would look at lighting 8, 9, 3, and 4, and the Border Patrol would probably even help pay for those lights. But I'd light the holes that certainly 8, 3, and 4 that play along the river or along the Vega would not bother anybody. We can have a conversation about how you'd light the driving range, and if you could light that so that the lights shined down and wouldn't bother the housing around it, we'd probably be able to agree to that. But I don't think I could agree with 11. Maybe 10, but not 11. Or 12.
and that perfect. Yeah, I mean, this is just brought up just to get the ball rolling. Those are great, comments on your part. That way we can, make sure everybody's on the same page.
Mr. Jacobs, and maybe I'll let Dan chime in on this. Now, if we do this, of course, they're going to be hopefully LED lighting. Okay, the new case of LED lighting that I'm familiar with, and Dan, correct me if I'm wrong. For example, something that we have at Unitrade, because of the airport, there cannot be. We have to be very careful with the light pollution there going on as far as the air. Now, with the new LED lighting, it's amazing how you can just light up. You don't have any lighting filtering throughout the whole. It's just not like the old school spotlights, right? It just shoots right down to the field, and you can't even tell in the parking lot that the lights are on. So is that correct, Dan? Or is that kind of what we're looking at, or I mean, with the LED lighting?
Well, I guess even before we go deciding on LED lighting, in other words, like for instance, I'll give you a good example. Along the right of way of TxDOT 35, we have the high mast lighting. And studies have to be conducted because we don't want a bunch of light pollution on the neighbors and all that kind of stuff. So at the time, LEDs were an option, but so you pick a light that does a certain job for you. It's horses for courses, as they say. And the LED is not the cure-all everyone thinks it is. It has a different wavelengths, different. I'm sure when you go buy a light bulb, the LED light bulbs, you'll see that there's different variances to it. So I'm sure it may turn out to be LEDs. And we want them because they're using a lot less energy and that kind of thing. But I just want to make sure we do our homework completely before we even decide on what that's going to be. Am I being too wishy-washy about it?
No. I agree. I mean, we want it to be. I mean, I love the concept, guys, of lighting part of the course for people to be able to play at night. It could be a good time to give kids lessons and, the driving range and all of that. It's just we have to find, especially on the range, we have to find a solution that really won't, that any of you would not find objectionable if your house was close to the driving range.
Right.
And that's the trick. And then I have no idea how much it's going to cost, but I mean, I think it's a great idea. Again, I think I would steer us away from the 10 and 11 and go maybe for 8, 3, and 4, which are beautiful holes back there. And again, maybe we get the Border Patrol to say, yeah, that's a good idea. Let's do that and get some participation in the cost. I don't know how to deal with the driving range. I understand all the driving ranges I've seen in other places are lit. Most of them, that have a lot of play.
Right.
I just don't know how to do it. I mean, if they could be low lights, like down, on a pedestal that's 3 feet high and shine out on the surface, where when you hit your ball up in the air, you may not see the ball in the dark, but you'll see where it comes down. I don't know. I mean, there are probably other experts on golf lighting that have done this.
JJ, this is Danny McGee.
Go ahead, Danny.
Sorry to interrupt. Was that Mr. Jacobs?
Yeah, that was Mr. Jacobs.
Okay. Just to guess, I guess, assure you, if we do this the right way, there are programs that a lot of these engineers use and have. We use them with TxDOT that will measure, the candelas, the light being thrown in certain directions, and that kind of thing. And that's how they will get a very, very good, better than an approximation of how much light will go onto a yard and that kind of thing. So we're not going to go out there and say, okay, we need a 30-foot pole and we'll just guess at a 500-watt luminaire or something like that. If we do this right, we'll get someone to once we decide on which holes we want, to measure it out and say, okay, we don't want a bunch of light spilling out into this home or backyard or something like that.
Okay. Well, that sounds good. I mean, we should definitely pursue it. I have no idea how much it'll cost, but it's a good idea.
Yeah.
I mean, we could definitely plan a trip for the golf committee once everything, gets a little better with the pandemic and all that. But you could see it for yourself, and it's kind of like what Mr. McGee said. They did the study there with San Antonio and all that, and if you're not around the light bulb where it's showing, it doesn't really shine outside of that area. And like Mr. Jacobs said, you hit the ball, and this is all par 3 holes, so you hit the ball with your irons and it goes up pretty high. You lose it for a split second, but you obviously there's a lighted area where you see it land. So we saw families out there playing. It was really fun to watch. Actually, people partaking of it.
Where is that course in San Antonio?
At San Pedro and Bassi. It's right in downtown. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I only see a lot of cars there. I see a lot off of San Pedro near Bassi. Yeah.
Correct.
I didn't know there's a par 3 there also. I just thought it was a driving range.
No, there's 9 holes, par 3 lit up. And when I saw it, I was like, really? So I went over there and I played it at night. And I was blown away by how many people were there. I spoke to a couple of people there, and they're like, "Oh, this is what we do every Tuesday night with the family." There was people in the restaurant, enjoying the range, and then they would go and eat something, and then they would go play their 9 holes.
Are there houses around the 9 holes?
No, it's kind of by there's a Pep Boys next to it. It's more of an industrialized little area. It's not industrialized, but it's commercial.
I know. Yeah, I know where it is. I'll go look. I'll look anyway. But in any event, what I'd like to everybody consider is that farmland that's contiguous to the course on the north side, on the Mines Road side, is all going to get housing that hopefully all you guys are going to buy and want to live out there. And so then you got to decide, how the lights are going to look, I mean.
What's the discount for being on the committee?
Say again?
What's the discount for being on the committee?
Oh.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Matter of fact, I'm going to use the committee as the marketing focus group to see what you like and don't like, so.
Well, can we, Mr. Chair, maybe we bring it to a committee consent and come up with, everybody agrees for us to do further study on this? We want to make sure that everybody, if everybody's agreement with lighting up the course, and Dan, McGee, myself, and Dennis can move forward and bring you all hopefully some prizes, and maybe we could meet out there, and once we get the engineerings of lighting, and then come up with a cost, of course, But
right.
before,
Gary, as long as the minutes reflect that we don't want to do anything that would conflict with any
housing.
residences around there or be offensive to residences.
Okay. So I don't know if you would like to somebody would like to make a motion for staff to continue further study so we can move on with this. I didn't want to move on with this until I could bring it to the all committee, and if you all give us your blessings, then we will start looking into bringing an engineering company and a lighting company, and of course, and getting the price, more importantly. So just wanted to bring it out to you all.
I move that we give staff the authority to move forward on the study process and implementation process of the project we just discussed for lighting holes 10, 11, and however many holes that were part of the discussion.
Well, why don't we, if I could say, not put the specific holes yet, but just say lighting for 3 holes and the driving range.
Okay. I move that we give the authority to the.
I was wondering if we couldn't have, a phase 1, phase 2 on this thing with the driving range being in phase 1. I mean, that's where for sure you're going to get a lot of people regarding on the cost and everything on the doing the holes. Could we do something along those lines?
We can do that. I mean, how the committee wants it to proceed.
Well, let's just make a very broad statement. I move that we give the authority to staff to further research the lighting processes that they brought before this board, and give us monthly follow-ups on cost and implementation processes.
That sounds good. Anybody second that motion?
I second the motion.
Okay. So
let me make sure. Rick Garza, was that you, Rick, right, to make the motion?
Correct.
Okay. And who seconded?
Luis Pellegrin.
Luis Pellegrin.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? None? Okay. The motion passes, and then when as you progress, we'll keep talking about it. But, so you don't waste a lot of money with engineers. I would urge you to, when you're talking to them, to see if you can find holes to light that are remote from potential residential areas.
Okay. Okay, we'll definitely do that. And God willing,
it also could be holes 13, 14, 15, or something like that. In other words,
13 and 8.
13. Well, yeah, I don't know. If you want to do 18, we definitely don't want to do anything on 18 that would be offensive architecturally. In other words, that makes it look commercial. But it depends on how this lighting works. I have no idea. I mean, if you don't have to use tall poles, and they're you can finesse it so that they're hidden and golf balls aren't hitting them, and the golfers don't really know they're there during the day, it'd be perfect. It'd be great, but I'm not sure how it works. I think 18 is your signature hole. As this course gets more play, hopefully, we could do more for tournaments around 18, something. Anyway.
okay.
I would say generally you're going to study all the holes, find out which are the most practical to do, and let the least intrusive on the design of the course.
Okay. Sounds good. Just want to make Gloria's going to read out the motion. Make sure we have it written in the it's written the right way. Go ahead, Gloria.
further research on the lighting proposal with monthly status reports to the committee.
Correct. Well, one thing, since it's already passed, I would say, JJ, is maybe talk to Bruce Charlton or somebody at Robert Trent Jones who designed the course.
Okay.
And have their signature on it. We don't want to do anything that will remove their signature, because therein lies a lot of the value of the course. But they probably have some thoughts on how they would do this if they were doing it on these 3 holes.
Okay. Definitely, we'll reach out to them. Again, we're going to start the process and get all this information as much as we can. I know Dennis, Danny, and myself have hopefully planned a trip down to San Antonio to go play and go take out the place over there. And then Dan's got some lighting engineering company that he's got a contract with. Give us some suggestions, but we'll definitely include the builders, the developers of Trent Jones, so that make sure we're all we don't lose the integrity of the course without a doubt. Okay.
Yeah, and I don't have the agenda for this meeting, but I want to, while Dennis is on, I want to reiterate what I think is the importance of the city reaching out to the original firm from Connecticut that promoted the Max when we first built it. These 2 women, they did an excellent job, and see if we can start publicizing the Max more again in golf magazines nationally, and use them to target winter Texan communities that we want to attract to come to Laredo and play the course and or retire in Laredo.
Mr. Chair, I have the contacts, Jane Daly.
Yeah, Jane, right.
Their company is called Encore Strategies, LLC. So
that's it.
Yeah, I have it here with me. I reached out to them through, briefly spoke to them because I was in, they called me and I was in the middle of a meeting, and we're supposed to make contact with Dennis and myself. Hopefully, I told him about sometime this week. So I know we're already Thursday, but the ball is already rolling on that.
Okay, and if I can, I'm happy to participate in the call.
Sure.
I don't know what their schedule is.
Let me set something up, and I will definitely let you know. Okay.
Okay. Now, the other thing about this lighting is, I guess y'all should discuss it, Dennis, with Tom Horstman. I think has done an excellent job with the resources he's given on maintaining this course to be sure, he's kind of in the loop with you guys on this from a maintenance perspective.
Right.
He's sitting here he's sitting here with us right now.
Tom is there on the call. Great. Tom is in the meeting as well.
Okay, great.
He's part of the agenda, Mr. Chair. The next thing is a golf maintenance report, and then the second thing on is the design for the entrance of the Max Mandel. So those are just staff reports. These are not action items. I just want to keep you all posted. But if with your permission, we can move on to the next thing of staff reports, which is number 1 is a golf maintenance report. Tom, Dan, and Dennis, are you all there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Good afternoon, Tom. Will you all want to go ahead? I know you want to go ahead and speak to the committee.
Yeah, I mean, we'll take questions or any suggestions. This year, we were blessed to have all the bunkers already in play. We've redid most of them already. Some we just got to wait on number 11. See what we want to do with that one, because it is a bigger one, and it is going to be a lot of sand. Right now, Tom has taken the initiative to go ahead and clean it out for the most portion, which as a golfer, when you land in fairway bunkers, you do not want a lot of sand. He has left a good amount of sand at the head of the bunker, where that's kind of where 98% of the golfers land. Course looks fantastic. We'll take any comments from the committee and answer any questions that you guys have, and then I'll let Tom kind of just talk about what he's done to make the course look so good recently.
Just on a couple of notes. I know I had mentioned this in the past. If you can look into hole number 10, number 9, or everywhere in the cart path area that gathers water. I think we were supposed to open it up so it can drain properly in those areas. I know with the growth of grass and everything, it continues to plug up, but it just does create a situation where people are running over it and creating a mud path in there. And just wanted to see if you can open it up so it can drain properly.
It's on hole 9 we're speaking of.
Yeah, on hole 9, right at the right, like right at the curve, about in between the girls' tee box and the green. Number 10, I know right after you tee off, as it veers to the right, it goes down and the grass grows and it doesn't drain properly when you water or when it rains. So it creates like a mud puddle in there. So instead of people going through it, or they go around it and they step up, they mess up the grass, and it just creates a just a messy situation in there. Just so it can drain properly. It's in a lot of holes. So it's just a matter of looking at all of them and figuring out where it's puddling up.
Gotcha. We will definitely take a look at that. I just might add, and I got into this meeting late, but I do have a course report that I've printed up, and I emailed that out to Dennis and Juan and Mr. Jacobs. So I can, briefly kind of go over some things we've been doing during the winter, but there's a more detailed report that they could email around, after they read it if they like.
Well, we will, I'm sorry, Tom, we can get, did you send it to me?
I did, yeah.
Okay, I will get Gloria to send that email forward to all the committee members so they can take a look at it in written. But if you want to just elaborate a little bit on it, we'd appreciate it.
Yep. But as far as the course, as it's in the state now, it's winter time and the course is dormant. We've been out there applying some turf colorant and some iron to kind of give it more aesthetic summertime look, green. And earlier this month, we worked on a couple of the bunkers on 18 and 15, where we put in some liner in those bunkers that were typically having trouble with them, the sand sliding out and some drainage problems in them. The guys on the golf course have also been doing some native area cleanup during this off season, mowing some of the natives down and getting rid of some of the unwanted stuff that grows in those areas. Working on cleaning sprinkler heads. I think since you've all last met, we've added some new equipment, much needed equipment. Appreciate the city's contribution and help with that. It was a new greens mower, new rough mower, and a new sand rake to help with maintenance aspects. So that was greatly needed and appreciated.
That is great. I'm glad to hear that. Thanks, JJ.
No, thank you. No problem, sir. You know how it is, a lot of red tape, but with Tom and Dennis and we were able to coordinate that, and you can tell the difference. It looks a lot better now. When I was out there this weekend, so looks better. Not better.
Tom, this is Gary. I just, one of my pet concerns is kind of water preservation and things that grow out there that are competing with the grass. And of course, number one is salt cedar. And years ago, the city was reluctant to fool with the salt cedars in the Vega around 9 and 8. But, if we could get rid of those, it'd be great. And then go ahead and do pruning on all the holes, like the green on 15 and the tee boxes on 16, where you could open up those river views again. And probably this is a time of the year to get in there, and cut some of that stuff down. And then anywhere we have salt cedars, I would root them up and get rid of them. But how the salt cedar is, it's like buffalo grass. Every time it sheds, it spawns 1,000 other salt cedars, and all they do is suck up water. So if you have any time, or maybe the city can help with that, getting rid of the salt cedars, I think would be a big benefit to the course.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think they've lost, some of the views there. I think from when the course opened up, especially over on 9-15.
Right,
Um,
right.
you got your salt cedars, as you mentioned. You also have some of the Carrizo that is kind of gone kind of wild, or the Orondo, some people call it, um, along the edge. That's really invasive
Grown up.
species that's
Yeah,
kind of taken over.
right. We ought to just get rid of it. No one's ever going to challenge you.
I know, I'm sorry, Mr. I know we had coordinated with the Border Patrol was out there, and they were, Dennis, correct me if I'm wrong, they were gonna go out there and they were gonna do the job without any charge, no, if I'm not mistaken? Something like that?
Yeah, they were gonna bring I think they call it la mano del chango, that crane that kind of, you put it by, that's what he called it. You put it by the river's edge, and it can go all the way down, as maybe by the river edge from the bank, and just clear out all that area. It has a kind of like a lawnmower connected to the top of it, or a hedge, and they would just bring it all the way down to the ground. The last time was before all of this border wall was spoken about, so I don't know if that got pushed to the side because of the border wall, but it'd be something that we can circle back and revisit.
Yeah, definitely. I know the guy that was gonna do the project, Sammy Moreno, so I can reach out to him to see if if they're still interested, so maybe we can get the Border Patrol's help, so.
It'd be good. Just be sure their mano de chango doesn't ruin the golf course when they drive it in there.
Definitely.
So
They'll probably go cut Bruno's yard over there too, so.
in Mexico, a mano de chango is a backhoe, but they probably have a mower on the end of it or something. But
right.
if they do all that, we ought to sneak in behind them and poison it, so.
Well,
Yeah.
this is Louis. Has anybody contacted the Webb County Extension Service to see if there might be some funds to take care of the salt cedar?
Not on my end, Mr. Pellegrin. I had not the city, but we can.
I'll generate a call to Flavio Gassa over there and see if there's any programs out there.
Okay.
We might get lucky.
Okay, yeah. If you need any follow up with us, and then on the city side, then we can go. We can. If they need something from us, we'll follow up with it. Okay. Okay. Anything else for Tom? Or Tom, anything else on your end?
Not really. I just as far as the winter time with the golf course, obviously it's dormant. We do get some winter approachment of poana, and starting to become a problem in some of the greens as the course gets older. So we treated it this year early. We treated it with a curb herbicide application in November, and again in December. And I think that was a concern when the tournament was going on last February for the college tournament, was the poana in particular in green number one, and a couple of the others, as far as the aesthetics and how it rolled, and was a problem. So thus far, I don't see any problem with it after 2 applications of the herbicide. So. But that's something else we're working on throughout the winter.
Hey, can I ask you a question, Tom?
Yes.
Just to, I guess, for the sake of the committee, can you explain, what goes into the decision-making process when we start cutting up trees? I know a lot of golfers ask us that question, and sometimes we don't have an answer for them other than for security reasons. I don't know if we don't want a limb to fall on them or anything of that matter. I just think that I guess you guys have a decision-making process when you get rid of a tree, just so that everybody can be on the same page.
Well, I mean, I think we try to leave them alone until they become, a safety issue or an issue with maintenance where we can't mow a certain area and guys can't mow under them and they have potential to cause an injury or something. Some of the native areas, we've taken down some invasive trees, things that are laying on the ground, that type of stuff. But some of the trees we've pruned up. But we try to, we like trees just as much as everybody else, and we try to leave them in their natural state.
I'm sorry, I got interrupted with a call from Gilbert from the Border Patrol Ranch Liaison, and he's talking about something else, but I mentioned to him about getting their help on getting rid of the salt cedars in the Carrizo, and he said, sure, just ask the city to give me a call.
Okay. Gilbert, what was his name? Is it Moreno?
Gilbert. I'll give you his phone number. Hold on just a second.
No, not Gilbert Moreno. It's Sammy, the one who.
Well, yeah, whoever. I mean,
Yeah.
Let's see. I don't know if I can find it. I have 333-5745.
Got it? You got it, Greg? Okay, we got it.
Yeah, he just called.
Okay. I'm sorry, Rick, did Tom answer your question, Rick? Or?
Yes, yeah, I just want everybody to be on the same page. I know we get asked that a lot. Riley, I get that asked, and I, pretty much told him what he just responded to.
Okay. Tom, this is a question for me. How often do you dye the course? You do it once a week, or how often do you dye you put dye on the course?
Well, that won't quite last the whole winter. We'll probably have to do it one more time, but that the iron and the pigment that's out there now in the main areas of play lasts about 3 weeks, providing that we don't get a lot of heavy rain or something of that nature. Usually by the end of February, 1st of March, the course is starting to green back up. So it's usually a couple times during the winter.
Okay. All right. Anything else, committee members, for Tom? A question or maintenance wise or anything like? He'll send us. He's going to send me a schedule of what's up. That way, you all can have it with you. And in case any other golfers got questions, you all can have that insight, that information. Okay. Tom, keep doing a good job. All right. That's anything we can help you with, as you know. Let us know over here in our department with the city. Okay.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Okay. So the last thing before we go, the staff report on the design for the entrance of the max. Dan, if you want to share the screen of what we came up with and just show it to the committee. This entrance is to the. We're going to change up the entrance a little bit.
The entrance to.
The one that you showed the decide for the road. I'm sorry, for the road.
You're talking about the signs?
Yes, the signs.
Okay. Yeah, you had me confused as to the entrance.
Yeah.
I don't care about that.
No, the signs. Sorry about that.
All right. Give me a second. Okay. I guess first I'm going to share what the signs look like right now, just to remind everyone if you haven't seen them. You can see that the picture of the sign right there.
Yeah, I can see that.
Okay. Now the reason I wanted to show it was can you see how thin that pole is?
Yeah.
Okay. At TxDOT we have requirements. The pole is can only support so many square feet of signage, and then after that you go to a bigger pole or a double pole. Just wanted to make sure you guys were aware of that kind of thing.
Okay.
All right. Give me a second. Okay. Did that change over to the sign, or do I have to reshare?
No, that's the.
Do you see a green sign now?
Yes, it's stop for 6 miles.
Okay, good. All right. So now this is just an idea. I am by no means telling you this is all we can do. I know we talked about this at whatever meeting I attended last time. I think it was like a year ago, but if you don't mind me saying it again, just indulge me. When I was with TxDOT, like I said, I'm a golfer, and I went out to the Max, and I felt really bad that at the time nobody was playing it very much. So even though these signs are not allowed by TxDOT's rules, and I use the word rules, a little loosely, I nevertheless gave the permission to put these signs to the city at the time. The ones that I showed you before. Okay.
Right.
Well, I no longer work at TxDOT, and that was my personal decision. So I'm gonna have to try and convince the person that took over my spot or the district engineer to allow us to upgrade or change the signs out. Now, changing the signs out for the same size shouldn't be a problem, only because signs require maintenance. They get worn over time and they lose reflectivity, and you're expected to upgrade your signs, right? So if we put the same sign back, I probably don't even need to tell TxDOT. I'm just going to replace what's there, and we're done. If we're going to change the wording by any means, or if we want bigger signs, then I'm going to have to get approval from them because it is on their property. I will do my best to persuade them of do that. I'll start off at the level I'm at, and then if not, I'll go over his head. I really don't doubt. I doubt they're going to give us a hard time. But this is just an example of how big and what the sign could say. I don't know. Can you see the dimensions on the bottom? It says 72.
I was about to. Yeah. What's the size of what's the current size it is right now, Dan?
Currently, it's I don't remember. It's very small compared to this. This is a 6 foot by 4 foot sign. 4 foot high, 6 foot wide.
And what do we have currently over there off the top of your head?
I don't know. Let me go back to the.
Like a 4
I'm gonna guess it's not. It's probably 4 by 3 or
Something like that. Yeah, it's small. And then on top of that, we put a lot of wording on there. It made all the letters very small. I think they're 4-inch letters. The ones I'm showing you right now, I think, are 10-inch.
There you go.
Sorry, let me get this out of the way. Yeah, they're 10-inch letters. These are 12-inch letters, actually, the one I'm showing you. So
if 12 inches is too big,
we can go with 10-inch letters and make it a little bit smaller. I know we have different, but this is, like I said, this is an example. If you guys will, I guess, brainstorm on the exact wording you wanted to say, and then I will make it as large as I can, and then try to sell that to TxDOT. But
I would, since you're making the sign bigger, Danny, I would try to get the Max back in there.
Okay. Now the reason I took the Max out, let me give you a little bit of background. Okay. In recent years, TxDOT has tried to get the signs to be less wordy. And as an example, on signs that are authorized to be on the highway are cemetery signs. Okay. In the old days, we would put, the so-and-so memorial cemetery on the sign, and it would be very big, etc. Towards the end of my career in TxDOT, all they wanted us to put was cemetery with an arrow to it. In other words, the thinking is, if you're looking for a cemetery in an area, you should know the same as cemetery. You don't need to know the name. Same thing with the golf course. Okay, but if you guys will just tell me, if you wanted to say the Max golf course, the Max Mandel, the more letters I put in, the smaller the sign will have to be, or it's going to be bigger. It's going to be on bigger supports, and it may be hard to sell.
I wouldn't change the sign. I wouldn't change the size of the sign. At least maybe do the graphic and see what it looks like, either with Max Golf Course or Z Max.
I'm sorry, Mr. Jacob. Just before you on, the committee voted on the meeting of October the 22nd that the sign to be read, the Max Golf Course, 6 miles.
Okay, let me write that down. Yeah. The Max Golf Course,
6 miles. That's what the committee recommended back in the October 22nd, in the October meeting.
Okay, then this is what I'll do, so I don't waste any of your guys' time. I will have my tech design it really, really quick and send it to you. And then if I can get your approval, JJ, or somebody's, and then that's what I'll take to TxDOT, and hopefully we're good.
Okay.
And do you want me to make it as large as possible, or is this 6 by 4 too big? I can go with 10-inch font, might make it into a 5 by something.
No, I don't know what y'all think, but
what do the committee thinks? To me, the my eyes are, the bigger the better, but I don't know how you all think.
Yeah, the bigger the better. I think the 72-inch sign's great. You know, if you can do
Yeah.
it.
The one thing we have working for us is the guy I'm going to be working with. He's a golfer too.
Okay.
All right.
There you go.
Yeah, one other question, Danny, while you're on it, from your former experience at TxDOT, how much trouble would it be for the city to ask for a blinking light at the crossover where we go into the max?
Honestly, that shouldn't be a problem. I don't think.
I don't know what y'all think about that, but especially if we're going to do later, night golfing. But even today, those trucks go pretty fast there. Ultimately, I want to try to get all that slowed down. But if it's not hard to get a blinking light, I think that would be a good safety thing.
Yeah, that's just an enhancement. I can make that decision myself, and I think it's a good idea.
I like that idea too.
Yeah. Are there any is there illumination at that corner? It's just a regular street light?
No, I don't think so.
No, there's no lighting at all. The only lighting you have is a little bit at the entrance of the max.
Okay, well then that helps my cause. If there's no lighting, then I can put just a couple of creosote poles, wood poles, with a blinking light, and then I can attach light to those poles to illuminate the intersection.
And we can do it on both sides, southbound and northbound, or eastbound and westbound. Is that correct, Danny?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. We'll come up with a drawing for that.
Do you have to ask Border Patrol for that? Because I don't know. They use that, I guess, as a staging area. I'm not sure Border Patrol uses that as a staging area. I'm not sure that they're supposed to be there, but I know they cleared out all that front.
They're not supposed to be there, and they ruined all the landscaping I paid for.
Right.
Correct.
But what's the question with the Border Patrol?
Yeah, so that, the Border Patrol might be a good idea to put that light in there, because I know that they started using it as a staging area. It's kind of intimidating. At the same time, they've already flattened all the grass. They cleared it out, and it looks kind of ugly out there with that.
One of the concerns, Rick, I'm sorry, committee members, the new councilwoman brought it to my attention, and I reached out to them, is that number one, I don't like those big tires hanging out in the front there. It's a big eyesore. They're right along the road there. And, you're correct about the staging area. So I have reached out to one of the higher ups to see if we can take, I know they have to work around it, but maybe possibly, not holding their conventions in there.
Well, you know what? They really don't have to do it there. They have keys to all my gates. And they used to use stage at that gate closer to town. Those double gates are set back, and there's plenty of room there, and we wouldn't object to that. So they're just doing it at the golf course because it's convenient.
Right.
But they don't have to stage there. They have a gate a half a mile away they can do it at.
To the east or to the west of it, Mr. Jacob?
South, towards Laredo.
Towards Laredo, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that way I can reach out to the deputy chief, Mr. Martinez, Enrique Martinez, so I can tell him that.
Yeah, I'd be happy for them to stage. If they want to move the gate further back, they can move it further back, whatever. But we ought to leave the golf course as an amenity for everybody and not a Border Patrol staging area.
No, I agree. Especially though you have those huge tires there laying in front, and it doesn't look good. But okay, I would definitely work on that. I'll take care of that.
Right. Okay. Great.
Write that down. Okay. So are we good with the size of the sign and the wording of the sign?
Yeah. Go ahead.
I've got the max golf course 6 miles, or
Right.
or whatever the mileage is.
Right. The max golf course 6 miles. And then when you get to the actual golf course, it's going to say the max golf course.
The arrow. Yeah, with the arrow to the left.
Okay.
And then the blinking light.
Yeah. Great. What's next?
I think that's it. Mr. Chairman, next thing on the agenda, just items for next meeting. Would you all would like to add to the items for the next meeting? So, and then we have adjournment after that. Just, anything you all wanted to, I know we have the action, you all to give us more information as far as the lighting is concerned, but anything else that you all would want, to add to the items for next meeting?
I can't think of anything right now.
How about looking into billboards on 35?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Okay. Maybe
You know,
I
but
can,
where we need billboards, Louis, is San Antonio. In other words, instead of on 35, we ought to strategically, get into that market. San Antonio poaches everything out of Laredo for 100 years. They put nothing back into Laredo, so we ought to poach their golfers because, like I said, when I brought the chairman of the Greens Committee to San Antonio Country Club down, he was totally blown away with the Max. I mean, he couldn't believe the condition of the course compared to their course. And so they want to come play. He didn't even kind of know about it. So if we could find places in San Antonio for 2 or 3 billboards, I think that would be great. I mean, one would be
Dennis, sorry, Dennis, the CVB ever, I mean, do they get involved in this?
Yeah, it definitely comes from their budget. I think in the past they had a couple, I want to say like the Dilly area, but they could put them wherever they want to because it's brought out of that fund that they use, the hotel tax.
Well, why don't y'all get together with them and say instead of in the Dilly area, I'm going to give you some ideas on maybe 281 north.
81,
like,
area.
281, wherever they allow that, let's say north of I-10. So, if you're going on 281 north of downtown, where you're getting into the residential areas.
Correct.
But maybe even out to all the way to 1604. 281, 1604 would be one place, and then maybe I-10
and 1604 going towards Bernie, that area, all golfs.
Yeah, all those areas.
Yeah, just in that area, you have about 9 to 10 golf courses that are very similar to the Max that would definitely, get a couple of guys that would take a weekday trip to Laredo.
Right. And none of those courses are Robert Trent Jones courses or signature courses. So just a beautiful picture of the Max, Robert Trent Jones, and if you really want to stick in their eye, put the green fee up there.
Yeah.
Green fee with a card. You'll be covered up with people.
Great idea.
Okay. Well, we can invite CVB also. They could join us at the meeting next month, so that we can we'll reach out to them and maybe they can give us some suggestions and show you all some diagrams on it. Okay.
Yeah, and maybe Dennis can start to plant the seed with them before the meeting.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Sure.
I have a call with them next week, so I'll definitely start kind of asking them questions in regards to their budgets. I know they set it up in October, but at least if we can't get in there, this year, we can definitely have them plan it for next year's budget.
Tell them put us in this year.
Yeah, definitely.
It's early.
Yeah, it's still early.
In other words, we should get in that, Dennis. So they say, well, where are you putting signs right now? And then, we probably know some of those areas better than some of them, and say, well, look, change this sign to the Max, and it's just a message. Maybe we don't need net new signs.
Correct. I'll definitely bring it up to Joel from CVB.
Okay, good. All right. Well, good meeting, guys. Thank you very much, JJ, and everybody for setting it up. I move we adjourn.
Second.
Oh, you want to put the date for the next meeting, JJ?
The date for the next meeting will be February the 18th, Thursday, February the 18th at 12 o'clock.
Oh, I can't do it that day, but I can do it the 19th.
The 19th.
Or I can do it the 17th. I can't do the 18th.
I'm fine either day.
I'll tell you why, because a really good friend of mine died at age 92, and I'm doing a memorial quail hunt for his sons
Okay.
on the 18th.
That's fine. How about the 17th?
17th's good for me.
At 12 o'clock?
12 o'clock.
Okay. We'll do Wednesday, February the 17th at 12 o'clock.
Okay, guys. Thank you all very much.
Okay. You all have a good one. Do you want to end the meeting, Mr. Chair?
Yeah.
Oh, the adjourn. I'm sorry. I stepped up a little bit. Okay. All right. So y'all have a good one. Hopefully we'll see you out at the course.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you.
Who seconded the adjournment? Who seconded the adjournment?
I do. I will.
Rick. Okay, Rick.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Have a good day. Stay safe.
Dennis and Tom, good work. Thank you all. Bye.